The girl was walking home from school when she didn't notice a van following her. A few seconds later, the van pulled up beside her. The door slammed shut, and the van sped away. The girl was lying unconscious in the back of the van. The girl disappeared without a trace. The case remained unsolved after years of investigation. But one day, 11 years later, this girl with dark circles under her eyes suddenly stumbled onto the street. Concerned citizens quickly called an ambulance. Gemma, the mother, heard that her daughter had returned. With tears in her eyes, she told her husband the news. Sam and his family rushed to the hospital. The girl on the hospital bed was pale. But when Sam saw the pattern on her arm, he confirmed that it was his daughter. Alice finally fell asleep from exhaustion. The next day, the girl recounted the details of her kidnapping. The father could no longer bear to listen, and left the room, struggling to control his emotions. The investigating officer did not stop to ask questions, because as Alice was being loaded into the ambulance, she kept repeating one name: Sophie. Sophie was the victim of another missing persons case. Sophie had also been abducted by a yellow van. Therefore, they needed to act quickly to find clues. Perhaps the girl Sophie still had a chance of survival. At this point, Alice looked distressed. She did indeed know Sophie, since Sophie was too stubborn to comply. The kidnappers treated her very badly. When Alice escaped, she wanted to take her with her, but she was too weak to walk. The couple thought nothing worse could happen. But reality always defies expectations. A nurse informed them of the test results. Alice had stretch marks, which meant she had given birth before. The police launched a large-scale search in the forest, based on Alice's escape route, but ultimately found nothing. Alice eventually returned home. Gemma comforted her daughter and urged her to rest early. After her parents left, she fidgeted with her fingers, and a strange smile appeared on her face. She returned to her room and looked at the children's photos. A strange feeling gradually emerged. She felt that their daughter was a bit unfamiliar. She told her husband about her discovery, but he didn't think much of it and comforted her, perhaps because Alice had suffered too much. At that moment, the doorbell rang. It was Julian, the detective in charge of another kidnapping case. Upon learning that Alice and Sophie had been imprisoned together, he had come from France to Germany to investigate the case. Alice told Julian she had escaped from the basement. She had also considered taking Sophie with her, but Sophie had been so tortured that she had completely lost the ability to walk. So in the end, she couldn't take her. Julian asked Alice if she could find the escape route, if she were to return to the forest. Alice's answer was full of holes. Julian quickly sensed something was off. Just as he was about to press further, Sam noticed his daughter's reluctance, and ruthlessly made Julian leave. Alice made a small gesture that caught his attention. He felt it was familiar. Julian reviewed the footage from before Sophie's disappearance. He noticed that Sophie, under stress, made the same small gesture as Alice. Perhaps Alice was not the real Alice, but Sophie, who had been missing for years. Just as he was at his wit's end, some good news arrived. Alice had agreed to Julian's proposal to search for the place where they were being held captive. Before leaving, Gemma brought a yellow scarf. She deliberately said it was knitted by Alice and her teacher, but Alice corrected her, saying it was knitted by her and her classmates. The mother was puzzled by her own actions. She didn't know why she was testing her daughter. Under the dual protection of the military and police, Alice felt her way into the depths of the forest. Alice suddenly stopped in her tracks. Before her was an invisible trench. The girl instantly became frightened and anxious. The military immediately sent someone to investigate. Julian, to confirm his suspicions, found a way to approach Alice and talk to her.
Sophie.